Okay, good evening, everyone. So before I start anything, I just wanted to wish everyone happy Clinical Trials Day. So we are celebrating the Clinical Trials Day on May 20th on the occasion that the first randomized clinical trial was started by James Lynn, testing on the sailors who were suffering with scurvy. So that was the first RCT, we call it as Randomized Clinical Trials Day. And that's the reason why we are celebrating a week of detailed activities and events. So my topic today is a quite interesting topic, which speaks about history of clinical trials to the modern miracles. So from where we started the history of clinical trials and testing and observation, and also the comparison studies, to till now the modern miracles, what is happening in terms of latest research. That's what I'm going to discuss. The remarkable journey of clinical trials. The clinical trials term is not new for anyone. Testing on human beings to know the evidence based molecules from early observations. It was just observation earlier that a person, how he behaves or the outcome of the person well-being is being observed to life-saving or making sure the breakthrough drugs for cancer or for life-saving therapies are being given, and a message of inspiration for next generation of the clinical researchers. Because clinical research, when we started my career in around 2006, also it was very small kind of a activity and very much not developed. But now the clinical research has playing major role to showcase the evidence-based molecule. It was earlier just an observation and comparison. Now it is just an outcome-based research, evidence-based research, which is upcoming for the clinical trials. So this is the first one, the dawn of the discovery, earlier trials and ancient sciences. Most of times we need to understand that the whole health sciences was started from ancient India. So we had a lot of stories about the Ayurveda and a lot of stories about the historic ancient treatments which were being developed in India. That's where we have started the discovery, earlier trials and ancient science, which we are going to discuss further. So this was the first observation experiment which was being done. So this was ancient observation. And this was a quite interesting story, the first experiment which was being seen. The right-hand side, the root which you are able to see, it's called as ginseng. So this is actually a ginseng root which you are able to see it. So this was being used for most of times the respiratory kind of things we used to do it. So 1,000 years ago, 11th century China scholar Song Su documented what might be the one of the historic earlier controlled observation. It was not a clinical trial, but it was being called as a controlled observation. So there was a controlled observation which was being done. So two individuals he has taken for a particular distance he has to run, and then once they have started running it, the before that one person has been given ginseng, the other person was without the ginseng. So the one person who has taken the ginseng and the other person who has not taken the ginseng, at the end of the running, then the ginseng user breathed more easily after the running has been completed. Afterwards, the running has been completed. But the person who has not taken the ginseng was finding difficulty to breathe easily. So long before the formal sciences, earlier civilizations, including the Egyptians, Hebrews, and Babylonians, relied on careful observation. So it was not just the experiments which were being done, it was observational studies, which we now call it as RWE or observational studies, which we are trying to do it based on the trial and error method. So that is the history which is coming from there. The observation and trial and error methods to develop the treatment for illness. So the clinical trials words itself is comes from the trial and error methods and also the observation. So what exactly is three words which you get? The first word is observation. So this word is very important because most of times we should observe that what exactly is happening to a patient after taking a medication or without taking a medication or combination of medication. So watch what happens when treatment is applied. So when treatment is applied, or when device is used, or when vaccine is used, observe carefully. What is the changes in human beings is happening? Is this positive effectiveness? Is this negative safety? Then it is going to be a comparison. So always understand that human beings world itself is rotating to a word which is called as comparisons. The compare the outcomes between the treated and non-treated. So the compare the outcomes versus the treated and placebos. The word placebo which we are using now was being used from since ages. If you see that 11th century, the China scholars have tested without giving an active molecule, which means that it's a placebo effect. The comparison between the active drug and placebo is from years together. It's not the new one which is being developed, but it's a years together which is being done. The final conclusions, the record what worked and what didn't work. So this statement also, it's the ancient word which we are getting. Now the new terms which we have got so many, that is this responder, non-responder, no changes or not applicable. All those new words are coming into picture, but actually the historic words are what really worked, what has not worked. That's the historic terms which are being used for ancient observation, which is the first primary observational studies which is being done. After this, the first randomized clinical trial, which was being conducted by James Lynn on 20th of May, where he tested the lime juice and the more of the oranges juice on the scurvy patients. A two group was being taken, one group with a lime juice, the other group with not any having a drug, which was being tested and called as first randomized clinical trials. And we are celebrating May 20th as International Clinical Trial Day. And this is something which is more interesting about the dietary supplements. The trials are not only for drugs. It might be for nutraceuticals also. Because nutraceutical is playing a major role now in the market. Nutraceuticals comes with the proteins or any minerals or any kind of uh, dietary supplements which can be given to human beings in order to make sure the human being is getting all kind of nutrients into the body for the proper growth of the body. Now, the book of Daniel, controlled trial which was being done. So around 500 BC. So around 500 BC, a book of Daniel describes a super good, fascinating dietary comparison. So it was very good dietary comparison. And when I was reading this, I was really getting excited that at that time they started doing this testing of a vegetarian or non-vegetarian. So they took two groups of people. One is a companions that only ate vegetables. The complete group of patients have had only the vegetables, not even for anything, and the water for 10 days. Vegetables and only water for 10 days. While other were having king rich diet. So what is mean by king rich diet is whatever you want to taste it, whatever you want to eat it, you can have it with a high amount of ghee, oil, and also meat, wine, and all those things were being taken into consideration. So two groups, one completely vegetarian and water, the one more group, just a full king rich diet on meat and wine. At the end of trial, obviously the results were very clear that Daniel group appeared noticeably healthier and stronger. So after a comparison of a good amount of 10 days, they were able to see that the people who have taken the vegetarian diet, the people who have taken just a vegetarian diet and water were extremely healthier, and stronger. Early example of comparing two groups under different conditions, draw and conclusion. So here, observation is there, comparison is there, and conclusion is there. The core agenda of clinical trials is you need to observe it, you need to compare it, you need to come and draw a conclusion that this has worked, this has not worked. The story reflects the ancient human being instinct to test, compare, and learn is very foundation of modern clinical research. So the term clinical trials, a lot of people, big people say phase 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's understand it's very simple reasons that first you observe it, second you compare it, third, you conclude it. So you draw a conclusion of it. So it's simple as that. We can do a lot of testing, which works and which does not work in research. And this is one of the interesting slide. Always, I feel like there is a positive and negative of clinical trials every time, and there are tragedies and turning points. There are end points, turning points, and tragedies which has occurred, and the need of regulation because clinical trials and pharma industry and medical industry is always dealt with very stringent regulations and legally binded people. We can't go and say that okay, whatever I want to do, I'll do it. If people die, I'm not going to care. I'm not able to understand what is the right of the people. So what is the safety of people? I don't want to care about it. So we have to care about its rights and safety and well-being and also the safety of the human beings who are going to take. So that's where the regulation came into picture. There are multiple regulations. I'll be speaking about more in the historic regulations and the current regulations which are going to happen now. The need of regulations. Why is the need of regulations? Because everyone started doing their own clinical trials. Everyone started saying my clinical trial is super good, my testing is super good. That this everyone started speaking. Need of the regulations came into picture, that everyone have to be under one gate. So I think this is one of the interesting story. I think most of us knows about this interesting story, and most of pharmacology book contains this story. The one of the drug which has said that it can cause the placental barrier mistakes or placental barrier adverse reaction. And the small children who were born, 80% of small children have died and 20% have suffered lifelong. And it was an irreversible adverse event which has occurred. And there was an off-label use which has happened. And this was the thalidomide which was not been approved in US. And because of thalidomide drug, one of the US regulator has got Nobel Prize because she has not allowed thalidomide drug to come into market. And thalidomide drug at that particular time, it was called as blockbuster drug, breakthrough drug, because this was actually being approved for the sedations, but it was having some activity of motion sickness, and doctors understood that motion sickness is more in women who are having pregnancy and first trimester. It was very delayed adverse event. So most of adverse event are immediate, and if you are having immediate adverse event, you can withdraw those adverse events also. But when the adverse events are long term, the relationship and identifying the adverse event is very difficult. So the drug was being taken on third month, and the adverse event you are able to see at the ninth month or after ninth month, the baby is born with a deformed limbs. The thalidomide tragedy, a wake-up call for the stringent regulations for early detection and early prevention of the adverse reactions. In late 1950s and 1960s, the thalidomide was widely prescribed to the women who were pregnant to relieve the morning sickness. And it seemed very much harmless. So, because everyone started saying, boss, listen, the patients or the people, the pregnant women who were taking these medications were not having the vomiting sensations until it wasn't. The result was devastating, and thousands of babies worldwide were born with severe limb deformities and birth defects. And these were irreversible adverse reactions. We are not worried about reversible reactions, though we go and speak more about pharmacovigilance. The reversible adverse reactions, when the drug is stopped or the rescue medication is being given, the reversible adverse events will be stopping or it gets reversed. But irreversible adverse reactions, which endangers the life or endangers the life-threatening conditions or the disability conditions, permanent disability conditions, which cannot be reversed after the stopping of drug, is most dangerous. So pharmacovigilance plays a major role, and thus one of the most repetitive asked interview question is why pharmacovigilance came into picture because of the thalidomide tragedy. The first child when was born, why this molecule was not being removed from the market? Why is this market was still there in the market when it should have been removed from the market? The drug had never been tested in pregnant population and it was off-label use. So this drug was always called as This drug was always called as off-label use, where the drug was not being tested on pregnant women and it was not approved for pregnant women and it was being given. The tragedy became global turning points, proving the good intentions are not just enough. Rigorous safety testing is non-negotiable. The need of the pharmacovigilance came into picture from thalidomide tragedy. The lessons: every drug must be tested across all populations, including small children and vulnerable populations, including those who are the most vulnerable patients before it reaches to normal public. So this is what is called as the thalidomide tragedy and the turning point for the need of early detection and early prevention of the adverse event. This is one of the interesting slide which I always see, that the regulatory milestones because of the history. The thalidomide has brought something which is pharmacovigilance. Then the most important, I think, this one we are discussing now also, this the sulfanilamide or the DEG. The most important, the excipient which is DEG, which has been intentionally, unintentionally, accidentally is being mixed with small children's elixirs or syrups or those things, is giving more problems. Recently, last year we had cold ref syrup which was being accidentally, intentionally was being mixed with, adulterated with DEG, which is diethylene glycol, which caused so many deaths of the small children. Though DEG might be safe for adultery population or adult populations, for a small children's the liver and kidney other organs are not being developed, and it gives very much fatal reactions and fatal adverse events. A toxic formulation killed nearly 100 people, small children, exposing lack of pre-marketing safety checks. This was not having pre-marketing safety checks, and this happened in US. So always there's the elixir sulfanilamide, because sulfanilamide was a blockbuster drug, and the compounder asked that to make it as powder and mix it into liquid, and he bought something which is DEG, and he took that powder and he mixed into the DEG, and he gave that DEG or he gave that elixir to the small children, and small children died. This was the biggest disaster during your initial 1937, and because of this we got something which is FDA. So the reason why FDA in US we have got is because of sulfanilamide elixir tragedy. So which is 1938, the F&D and C Act, the Food and Drug Cosmetic Act, requires all new drug undergo the pre-marketing safety evaluation by FDA before it gets approval. The most interesting, the 1962, after the FDA has identified that thalidomide has caused so much of big issues. Then they came up with 1962 Coffer Harris Amendment, where the drugs must now show substantial evidence of effectiveness. It's not just a safety, but it has to show the effectiveness, and lack of effectiveness also is a problem for them. That's why this amendment came into picture in 1962, which was one of the key milestone regulation for US. And 1964, this was something where the World Medical Association, WMA, came into picture, and they set a global ethical standard principle for conducting clinical trials. The World Medical Association, it gave that what are the regulations and principles that doctors or physicians or scientific community has to follow while they are conducting human being studies or research studies or clinical trials. In 1964, Declaration of Helsinki came into picture, where WMA has set a global ethical principles for conducting a research. And each of this law was born from a tragedy. So starting from sulfanilamide to your syphilis tragedy to your Declaration of Helsinki, everything came from a tragedy. Prove that regulations and sometimes slow is more important, and one of the medicine is powerful tool. So though medicines are very powerful tool and we need to follow very stringent regulation, that's why pharmacy or medical field is more of regulations and laws and activities which has to be done, taken care into activities. The more important, the milestones and innovations, the building the gold standards of current generation milestone things. The Belmont report, the most important aspects, the three activities for the Belmont report, because it happened in US one more time, the Tuskegee, the syphilis study. So the syphilis study was happened where black men were being denied to give treatments and the white patients were being given treatments for the knowledge of decades of things. So it means that placebo was being given for syphilis patients, though patients were having right to take medications, but years together they were denied to give treatments. And those are black population, white population were being given treatment, and whole world questioned this the abnormalities of the ethical conduct of clinical trials, and we got something which is Belmont report. The Belmont report has three important justices. First one, respect to person, and it should have a beneficence. And last one is justice. That burden and benefit should be always shared fairly. So it's not just a burden which is being put more than benefit is less. So that's where the more important Belmont report came into picture. And because of syphilis tragedy, we got to know that there is huge bias involved in conducting clinical trials. Black population were being biased, not given an option for a treatment, and white population was being given more treatments. So that's where the randomization and blinding and gold standard treatments came into picture. What is randomization? For the selection of subjects, you use randomly assigning the subjects. Like if you toss a coin, then it might be a 50% chance of head and 50% of chance of tail. So that's where randomly assigning the subjects by using element of chance is called as randomization, selection of subjects, and blinding. The observer does not know what exactly the patient has taken, where the blinding removes the observer bias. So observer knows that the patient has not taken the drug, then he might not give treatment. So blinding is one of the most important aspect which is being taken. The combination of selection of subject for randomization and the avoiding of observer bias of a blinding, which is more dangerous combination and more gold standard combination. So most of clinical trials at this point of time, it's a randomized double-blind clinical trials which are being done, which is randomized controlled trials is considered the highest standard for clinical evidence, and randomization remove the selection bias and blinding removes the observer bias. Together, they give super good results, and this is gold standard design of clinical trials which you conduct. The modern era, the blockbuster recalls and future frontiers. So blockbuster drugs, the what are the recalls and the future, what exactly is? This is a blockbuster drugs and life-saving breakthroughs. The first one is mRNA vaccine. This was super good vaccine. So I think the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines, these two vaccines were developed in record time because it's mRNA vaccines. And immunotherapies like more importantly, Keytruda, which harness the immune system to fight against the cancer. So it was used for melanoma, lung cancer, and many more things. And gene therapy, which is most complex now, gene mutations and more of gene treatments are being given. Treatments of Luxartana or Zolgensma corrects the faulty genes, offering the potential cures for rare inherited diseases, which are called as rare occurring diseases, is being taken into consideration for gene therapies. And drug recalls, just once the drug goes into market, it does not work complete. The drug approved after phase one, two, three, our work does not complete. We go and conduct the phase four also to understand the real-time monitoring of the drugs. And we harness the safety signal, which are unexpected and identified and very dangerous adverse events are being selected. And then based on it, we can go for a recall or risk communication, which is being given. Even the approved drug can be recalled at any point in time, which is called as drug recall and importance of pharmacovigilance. The future of clinical trials, that's very good. The first one is faster, the second one is smarter and more inclusive, more quality driven, and more quick and reliable results. The first one, decentralized clinical trials. Now, the future is more of conducting clinical trials where by using home of the patient by using apps, wearables, sensors, and removing geographical barrier to participate into clinical trial. Every patient home will become a hospital. AI and machine learning to accelerate the drug discovery and patient matching and data analysis and predictions. Real world data every day, the clinical supplements and clinical trial results, and diversity and inclusion is being taken into consideration. A message for the next generation: a happy International Clinical Trial Day. Every volunteer who joins the clinical trial day and every researchers who are part of us who designs one of the clinical trial, every professional who monitors the clinical trial, you are part of a tradition that saved hundreds of millions of lives. Because of clinical trials, we are saving so many human being lives that we are trying to get more answers out of how exactly is being done with the scientific research. Stay curious, question everything. The greatest discovery becomes only with what if does not work. Stay ethical. The science without ethics causes harm. Always put participation first, safety first, and stay inclusive. Build trials that reflects the real world, not just exclusive trials. Stay resilient. Breakthrough take time. Setback, courage, and keep going. So, with this short note, thank you so much who have joined for International Clinical Trial Day. I will hand it over to my next session. Over to you, Oma. I have stopped sharing and I'll go on mute. And if any questions are there, we are happy to take, but we have only half an hour of time to take it forward for award announcement. We have award announcement, and our honorable chief guest, Dr. TV Narana, will be TV Narana sir will be joining in some time. So we want everyone to have this session more interactive. But any point in time, you can ask questions. If anyone wants the slides, please post it in the group. We'll be sending the slides also if anyone is interested to read the slides and want to learn from the slides. Perfect. Uma, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you
Perfect.
so much, sir. And
Thank you.
yeah. And
I
I'm
have
very
completed
happy
within
that people
exactly
are.
30 minutes. You have another 25 minutes. Thank you. All the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I could see, participants are enthusiastic and they are typing in the chat boxes, and so happy that they are taking part in today's celebrations, which is our International Clinical Trials Day. So we are all belonging to the HCP community. It becomes our responsibility to educate people from the sciences background. There is a lot of responsibility on our shoulders to promote rational use of medications to prevent the adverse drug reactions, and also communicating this with the regulators and the HCPs and to the pharma companies, so that we are managing them in a better and possible way, that they are not occurring again or harming to the patients. Uh, that was a nice session from you, sir. I would like to share my screen quickly and request you to also confirm me once that my screen is visible.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. I'll not take so much of time of yours. Before Sir joins, TV Narayana Sir joins, and we are very much thankful to Indian Pharmaceutical Association for always supporting us in such kinds of initiatives, for bringing so much of knowledge to the students. That may be a knowledge, that may be a workshop kind of a thing, that we are sharing our knowledge, and also through the recruitment portals, right? Improving the recruitment in the youngsters. Whatever we are doing for the student community, they're always with us. They are supporting, especially TV Narayana sir and almost all the IPA. I cannot take the names of everybody. Every member of IPA are supporting us since long, and we are very much thankful to them. And sir has given a basic glimpse on how the clinical trials were, and what lessons we have learned from the mistakes that we have committed or the earlier people have committed in the research side. Now we are going to see the other side of it. Now we are in the technological era. We are all using the smartphones now, right? So we have never ever thought that we would be using a smartphone. We have started using. Now the AI technology. We may be feared of that. Oh my God, AI technology may be so big, we may not be able to understand, or that may be taking out our jobs or whatever, maybe our career may be in a question mark. We are seeing every now and then a latest technology is coming in the AI itself. Earlier it was a generative AI, now it's agentic AI. Tomorrow we don't know what kind of an AI will be coming into the clinical research or any other domain that we are currently in or going to be in the future. But how this artificial intelligence is reshaping the clinical trials is what we are going to discuss today. This is going to be my topic of the day. If you could look at this big picture, okay, just let me move my bar a little down. Yes. So why conducting a clinical trial has been so hard, so difficult, so complex? You could see this on my screen that it may take a minimum of 10 to 15 years of struggle in the laboratory, developing the molecules, testing them, but it may fail at any point in time, yielding zero and incurring huge losses to the sponsors, the pharmaceutical companies, or the people who are investing their money on these developmental side of the drugs or the molecules or the devices, whatever you name it. Okay. Then when we see about this discovery patterns, AI is literally helping us in identifying the molecules earlier, not taking this much of time. I'll be discussing all that in my upcoming slides. And the second part of it is $2.6 billion. So almost more than 25,000 crores. Okay. 25,000 crores is the annual national budget of more than 15 to 20 countries these days in worldwide. Okay. So making one drug may cost 25,000 crores of rupees or more than that. And even after that investment, if the regulators are not happy, if the drug is not promising, if the drug is not safe, not efficacious, or either of that, whether it's safe, not effective, effective but not safe, whatever it can be, regulators are not going to accept this drug. All this money that they are investing is a big waste. And this is where the biggest pain point is lying over. And the third and most important point is the failure rate. As I was saying right from the beginning, uh, when it comes to the timelines, when it comes to the expenses, after all this, failure rate is 90%. It means to say that out of 1,000 molecules, one molecule coming out is also a question mark sometimes. So this is the failure rate in the drug discovery process, and 80% of the trials will be missing the enrollment timelines. This is the huge pain point. So we are discussing all the pain points now in the traditional clinical trials, and how are we going to address that with the artificial intelligence. So 80% of the trials are going to miss the enrollment timelines. If you are not enrolling the subject on time, it's going to lag. You are collecting the data late, you're processing the data late, right? Submitting the data late. So if you are expecting 5 years or 6 years down the line, it may go up to 12 years, 15 years also sometimes. We do not know, depending on the complexity, depending on the indication that the drug is being made of. So these are the four major challenges that every drug discovery process is undergoing. Every sponsor is having a pain point. So expensive, slow, and prone to failure, right? Then how a traditional clinical trial looks like? Where is the gap or where is the challenge that's lying? If you could look at the patient records, right? For checking the eligibility, whether this participant is eligible for my study or not. To check that itself, it's a huge task because you are going to read so many laboratory studies of that person, right? Weeks, months together, you have to study that participant, then only you can recruit that person. So before you check their eligibility, the person must be accepting to the trial voluntarily. You cannot force them up. If with their own will and wish they are coming in, then only you can recruit them up, right? So the manual review of the data and the patient records is a difficult task over here. Rigid eligibility criteria regulators definitely wants, we see in the law book, right? What they say, one innocent should not be punished. Okay, so you may leave a person, but you cannot punish an innocent person. This is what the legal system says. Regulators also in a similar line says that you cannot harm anybody. If the drug is causing deaths, if the drug is causing serious events, regulators will still not say that, okay, let them die, you continue the clinical trial. They are not going to say. Because of that reason, the eligibility criteria is made very stringent and very strict, and the protocol will be made in a way that is facilitating only the eligible participants. There is no if and but over here. 1% minus, no recruitment. 1% plus, that's okay. But even 1% lesser than what is expected, we are not going to accept that person in the studies. This is called as rigid eligibility criteria. We are not making that person eligible, and we are shrinking that capacity to recruit the subjects. Delayed safety signals. Now, see, we have seen during the COVID time also that rural people, uneducated people, lay people who do not understand after taking the drug if something is happening because of the drug or not, they might have not put an attention to, right? They may experience it late, or something is happening internally, and such as liver failure or kidney failure kind of a situations, you cannot identify them in the initial stages because the symptoms are different, and you'll not get a doubt until it causes a big trauma in the life or sometimes a death also. So delayed safety signals is the third hurdle in the traditional clinical trials. Until the patient is coming and reporting, you will never know. And to check, you have to every time ask them to come up, and you have to collect the laboratory imaging, and every time conducting this laboratory imaging also is not possible. This is also an hurdle. Then the result. Okay, so trials always run over the budget, we have seen, run over the time, and the fails reflect the real world patients they are meant to help. So if they are failing, we cannot help the people who really need such kind of a drug. We are seeing today so many types of cancer, so many types of conditions, still there is no drug, and people are literally dying with that condition, right? If it is not reaching to the right population, we are losing them for this kind of situation. So let's now see what AI is challenging, or how AI is changing the entire picture now. I cannot say that it's such kind of a magic that's going to happen with AI, but it's really going to replace something, help in some areas. What are those areas? Let's explore them. So it's not going to definitely replace the clinical trial. Without clinical trial, AI is going to do some magic that it's going to put the drug in the market. It's not going to happen, but it's going to make the things faster because we have the time constraint. It's going to make the things work smarter because manual review is time taking over there, right? And it's going to be more precise so that we reach to the actual destination. See, if you're in a new city, you are going without a Google map, asking everybody, or with your intuition, or with your just some idea, then how much time it may take to reach to a destination. Or if you're using Google Maps or Apple Maps or any such map, how much time it would take to you, right? So you can have a precise location, and you can reach directly there, where you are cutting down on your cost, you are cutting down on your time as well, right? So the A is helping in patient recruitment and screening the participants early because of the power of AI to read multiple records, which is really impossible with the manual review or very time taking in manual review. Okay. And then the design and the protocol optimization. So when you try a clinical trial or when you test the drug, you always should have a nice design. If you have a poor design, if a design is not made properly, how the house looks like, right? If you don't have a building plan, it doesn't look like a house. The very same way, if you do not design the trial in a proper way, it cannot be conducted in a right way and you cannot yield the end results appropriately. Then the protocol optimization. Protocol should be made in such a way or created in such a way that it is addressing every need of the trial, or the one who is conducting the clinical trial is able to be guided in a right way with the past data that we already have with us. This AI is going to help us with. Then the real-time safety monitoring with lots of AI-based tools now, mobile-based applications are there. You can do a video call, you can do a you can do the patient diaries, you can enter it, or you can speak and say it out what's happening with your voice through voice commands, right? So this safety monitoring has become easier than someone is coming and reporting to you. Before that, you can get the information through using all these technologies. Now the uh, digital twins is a beautiful concept where you are seeing a replica to your own self. If you want to try a drug, you will be creating a virtual twin and or a digital twin, and you are going to test your drug in that virtual patient first, and then that is going to help us out that we are not going to take any drug or we are not going to do anything, and this virtual tool is helping us to simulate that how our journey would be if we are going into the clinical trials. So finding the right patients, as I have mentioned earlier, is the biggest challenge that we have. Before AI, the CRCs used to manually read all the clinical notes to find one eligible participant, which may take days or months also sometimes, right? So this is the, like a bottleneck that has piled up before even the trial could begin. But now after AI is going to read so many people's notes at once and within seconds, not even minutes or hours together, within seconds, it's going to read all the patient records. It's going to flag who is eligible, who is not eligible very automatically. This is going to happen with uh, you know, uh, not so much effort that you can put, right? So there is a real example of this is Mass General Brigham. So this is a Mass General Brigham generative AI tool. This is a tool, that has screened 4,476 heart failure patients for clinical trial eligibility, significantly lowering the time of recruitment and also the cost of people working on so much of data that has been reduced using this tool rectifier. Okay, so this has happened very recently. So the AI has started invading or coming into the clinical trial arena. So another real case is Cleveland Clinic and Dania Health in very recent times, 2025. There is a system called as Synapses AI. So this is a type of a technology by Dania Health. This is a company that has adopted this technology and they have deployed this technology across all the Cleveland clinics. This is a chain clinics. Okay. So they have deployed this in entire clinical research enterprises and this technology where it has medically trained all the large language models or LLMs to scan because all the patient records would be so heavy in text, right? So LLMs will help you to read so much of text at once. So this model has scanned so many patient records to identify the eligible participants very automatically, and they have done this in the cardiology department and the oncology and the neurology clinical trials, and they have identified the eligible participants for the study, making it or making the drug reach into the right and eligible population within a smaller or shorter period of time. So screening 40% increase is what they have seen in screening the participants. So National Institute of Health has done a study recently, and it was found that all these AI models have matched the patients to the clinical trials with so much of accuracy as human. If a human is reviewing, right, at the very same level they have done, but with 40 times more speed. So the accuracy is same as human, but the speed has increased, which is a very good sign here. And this human plus AI teams have worked together and they have outperformed humans alone. There are two groups only: humans reviewing the data, human plus AI, right? This has given 40 times faster accuracy, for first 40% more time, and 76.5% accuracy versus human accuracy of 71%. So AI is helping humans to increase the accuracy and improve the timelines also. So before the design, we now come to the design part. We have seen the recruitment part. We are now coming to the design part, right? Before the protocols were written by all the committees, right? The, the past experience, the literature reviews, we used to do lots of rounds to design the protocols earlier, right? So the static once approved, even the early data used to suggest so many problems, used to uh, redo so many times. The work used to be done so many times, so many rounds of data revision used to happen earlier. But now it's going to give the optimal eligibility criteria, the dosing schedules, and the site selection criteria. Everything we are able to write in the protocol with smarter designing tools. So the McKinsey has published a number saying that the AI technology has boosted the enrollment by up to 20%, and it has predicted the real-time enrollment performances, how the enrollment is happening in the real time, right? And it has also said that the timelines are cut down by 6 months per drug, which is still a considerable change that is needed very much now. And it has generated 400 million in value per asset across the development. So it has saved $400 million of assets in spending this expenditure on all these trials or trial related activities. So now let's come down to the digital trends. I've said the virtual patient, right? You are creating your own AI these days, right? We are talking to our own AI image the very same way. Trials are going to create a digital twin to you, where this virtual model will be acting like a real patient, right, with your health data. And this is going to predict on the basis of your genetics, right, from the cellular level, right? It's going to take up the things, and Sanofi has started this approach already, and they are doing the clinical trials using these simulators, which are the digital twins. So this has been already used in the Alzheimer's clinical trial, where this technology has helped to uh, reduce the sample sizes. Sample sizes, how many patients we are recruiting in a clinical trial. It has reduced the number of patients who are being recruited in the trial, and the patients in the study also. The people with mild cognitive impairment and whose data has been trained to all these machines, right? They have made this data as a digital twin. Okay, so it has cut down the number of participants. So you are not harming so many people by giving this medicine. You are creating a digital twin, and you are, giving the health data, and you are testing it. So control arm, sir has discussed about two different groups, randomized control groups, right? So this control arm is also reduced because we have now the actual patient, so we need not to give any placebo or a dummy drug to any vulnerable population, because if you give a placebo and the person is having a disease or a condition, you cannot prove anything over there. So we can cut down that using this kind of a technology. So when coming to the safety monitoring before AI, as I have mentioned, reporting these adverse events or rightly reporting and reporting on time was a difficulty that we have seen early time, and the time we have received, something could have happened and we couldn't be able to save the patient or do something in that particular case. But with this 24 by 7, we are now seeing the tele consultations and all the mobile applications or the tools that we can download from the Play Store and all. We can scan our face, we can scan, if there is a lesion or something on our skin, we can take a picture, we can directly upload, or any laboratory abnormalities, immediately we can upload the document to these applications. And the understanding on the adverse events and reporting the regulatory and taking necessary actions by the medical team of the sponsors have become easier with this technology. This is really helping to save the lives, I would say. And adaptive responses are like these algorithms are learning to adapt to the new changes. Earlier, if there is a change in the dosing, if there is a pause in the enrollment or anything that is unpredicted, these adaptive responses are adapting to the situation. Example, you are going to a new place, right? Suddenly you may feel like you are getting a cough, cold or something. You're exposed to a new environment, right? The technology now is helping us to adopt to that new changes that are happening in the clinical trial, and they are pausing and they are understanding that, okay, now I have to pause and schedule the next visit. So this is happening automatically without any human intervention. If I'm missing a schedule, AI is understanding that and it is rescheduling it on its own without any humans intervention. So adapting to all the things that are happening inside. So there is a Pfizer study that has saved 16,000 hours, which is a very, very massive time. Okay, so per year in scientists research or scientists searching on the data, they are taking so much of time in searching the databases, searching the chemical libraries. This time is cutting down with the technology that is being used by the company Pfizer. And this technology is also cutting down the cost, and they have started 14 AML projects in this year itself. So let's see a big picture of before versus after. In patient screening, we have seen the manual charts being replaced with AI scanning thousands of records within seconds and minutes. In the trial design part, we have seen the static protocols being AI optimized protocols, and changing the dosing, site selection criteria and everything. And when it comes to the safety monitoring, from periodic check-ins to continuous 24 by 7 real-time monitoring, and from virtual testing, which was not possible earlier. Now we are creating our digital twins and we are testing whether it's suitable for us to, take it or not. This drug is suitable for us or not is being tested beforehand itself in our digital twin. And timeline, when it comes to timeline, I have seen in my shown in my first slide that from 10 to 15 years now, potentially 6 months shorter per drug. So imagine if it is 50,000 drugs per year, 50,000 drugs into 6 months, cutting down how much time we are able to save on overall, the drug development or the protocols or the screening or the treatment that we are going to render to the patient population. So definitely with technology, we have the challenges, right? What are those challenges? AI models, as they do not have a human touch currently, they have started humanoid robots, but still it is underway. There is still a bias that we can expect over here when training the AI models. So the data that we feed may misrepresented, maybe misrepresented. Because of that reason, we may face some biases in the models that we are using currently, and the regulations are still catching up. Regulators are not very easy go persons with the technology, so they are still considering, and FDA is still developing their frameworks. And we have very recently seen that you call it as a data acquisition tool, or you take any technological things that have happened like data governance, right, in
Uma, quick time
E6R3.
check. We have 2-3 minutes of more
Yeah,
time.
2 minutes. So 2 minutes, I'm closing. This is going to be my last slide. So FDA is going to develop all the formal is developing the frameworks for AI driven trial decisions, because decision making on the basis of AI data is difficult for the regulators. Okay, and then the black box problem explainability is always a serious challenge. If AI is making any decision, you have to challenge that decision, because it's not a human's decision. It is a collective decision of all the data that has been given to the AI system. Okay, if a murder is happening, you can, say that this is an accused. But if AI is doing, whom are you going to put in jail or punish, right? So this is going to be the biggest problem that is in front of us when it comes to the ethics, right? So ethical AI is the biggest challenge in front of us, and human oversight always is needed. Without humans' intervention, we do not know what machines will be doing, or without supervision, how they are going to perform. You cannot completely trust on the machines. Though you have trained them, you cannot trust on them. So AI is not going to replace the trials, of course, but it's going to make them worth running, with the timeline cutting, the cost cutting, and also making it a better place for the patient population to participate and also get benefit out of it, right? So the goal is better trials, not fewer trials. This is already happening. I have shown how many companies have already started, and your generation is definitely going to adopt this technology, right? You're going to use this technology. So start learning this from today onwards, so that you are having or securing a wonderful place in your career going forward. And I have referred to all these resources for my slide making. Thank you so much, Mujib sir.
Thank you, Uma. Uma, can you make TV Narana sir as co-host?
Sure,
Narana
sir.
sir has joined.
Okay, sure, sir.
Can you make quick co-host, Narana sir?
I'm checking. Just
Yeah. So, guys, all time set. We have a quick 1 minute of time. Team, please inform uh, everyone to join, because we are going to have announcement of
sir is the
result.
co-host now.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining, sir. Though you are very busy, thank you for joining, sir.
Thank you for supporting also, sir.
Okay.
Sir, we have a quick 2 minutes or 3 minutes of my presentation explaining the events, what have been happened, and then time for you to announce the results, and then we will have a vote of thanks, sir.
Yeah.
So this is a schedule which we are going to have it, sir. So can I start, sir? With your permission, can I start,
Yeah,
sir?
please start. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, people who have joined here and also on YouTube channel. So it is also YouTube Live. We are very honored to have our chief guest, Dr. TV Narayana sir, who is a guide mentor for not only few people, for thousands of people, including me. I always get motivated with the love towards the profession TV Narana sir has have. And all thanks to TV Narana sir that sir has motivated us to do some better things for the profession. So we started thinking to celebrate International Clinical Trial Day, and we conducted a week of activities, which was organized by Clinosol Research Private Limited in association with Indian Pharmaceutical Association Educational Division. And I'm very thankful for the team of IPA Educational Division, including Sumlata Madam and Dr. Vikas. Thank you so much. So the events were conducted from 14th May to 20th May. The first line of events were day one. It was on 14th May, which was tap and tell the poll. So we conducted a e-survey where students have collected the survey and they have put the survey to us so that we can understand the awareness of clinical trials for the students and also for non-HCPs. That's a day one event. Day two event, we gave one image and we asked them to caption that image. That was a more creative competition, which we have had, which was 3 to 5 minutes of time writing a creative caption. Day three, 16th May, we had poster made easy, the poster making. And we gave themes and they used Canva PPT uploads for 10 to 15 minutes and then they designed that. Day four, we had 18th of May, one slide and 2 minutes of video. One slide they have given and also 2 minutes of video we had. So both creative and also presentation, micro presentation. 2 minutes we allowed create one slide and also explain two videos. And 19th May, which we thought that was difficult, but though it was difficult, so many people have participated, which was mini reel, the video activity. So many students have participated in it. And today is the last event, which was having International Clinical Trial Day of final webinar. We had two sessions, AI in clinical trials and also history of clinical trials and award announcement. So this is on both Zoom and also YouTube, which we are conducting this. This is the statistics numbers, day one, e-survey, tap and poll. The theme was quick awareness survey activity to know how many people knows about clinical trials and importance of clinical trials. The date was 14th May and number of participants were 246 people have participated. And the activity was just to understand the awareness survey and we have got super good answers about the awareness. And this was the image which we gave for caption this image and we got wonderful answers. Those students have came up with so much innovative and creative answers. Every image tells a story and let your caption impact on this. We had a limited characteristic for caption. But the theme was Beyond the Trial, Humanity, Ethics, and Innovation in Clinical Trials. And the date was on 15th May. And we had exceptionally 278 participants which were there. And this was creative caption writing, making the creativeness of the students have grown. And the day three was poster made easy. It was one of the easiest activity most of students have participated. Reimagining clinical trials, ethics, innovations, and patient centricity in healthcare, which was a theme. And date was 16th May to 15 participants, and poster presentation was the activity. And the next one is day four, 18th May. One slide was being prepared, and we asked the students to explain the slide for 2 minutes video. Data-driven clinical research was a theme, 18th May, and so many people have actively participated. Nearly we got 197 participation, and the activity was presentation competition and to explain the presentation. And day five, it was a mini reel. The competition name was mini reel. And we have a behind every medicine is a clinical trial. And 19th May was the activity. Yesterday was the activity. And we got 156 responses for mini reels, short videos, and reels in competition. And this was the webinar which just completed. So we had two sessions, history of clinical trials and AI in clinical trials. So without any delay, now we have a winner announcement from ICTD Celebrations 2026. We have five competitions, and we are very honored to have our chief guest, Dr. TV Narana sir, the president, CR Forum, immediate past president, Indian Pharmaceutical Association. Uma, over to you to have an introduction of Dr. T.V. Narana sir profile.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, good evening to TV Narayana sir and all the participants over here. I take this privilege to welcome
Uma, your voice is not audible. Okay, I think there is a network issue. I'll introduce T.V. Narana sir, and I'm very fortunate to introduce Narana sir. T.V. Narana sir is distinguished leader in the pharmacy profession and prominent contributor. Uma, you are able to hear us? Is my voice audible? Can anyone just let me know, is my voice audible?
It is audible now, sir. I think there is.
Okay. Would you like to take it forward, Uma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, quickly. Thank you.
So, so apart from being academically in a great position, sir is also an entrepreneur. It just 28 years old, sir has started his own pharmacy college in Bangalore in 1992, followed by another in Geneva 1997. In 2008, sir has established Vikas Institute in Rajahmundry, building into a state-of-the-art NAC A-grade institution. Sir is a true role model for young pharmacists across the country. So this is not the end. Sir has also achieved something that no other Indian pharmacy professional has. Sir is the first to receive three major international recognitions. These include Fellowship of the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association UK in 2024, Fellowship of the International Pharmaceutical Federation Netherlands in 2024, and prestigious Ishidate Award from the Japanese and Asian Pharmaceutical Associations. These honors place Sir on a truly global stage. Nationally, his accolades include the Emil Schroff Memorial Award, the Professor Emil Khorana Award, the Eminent Pharmacist Award, and fellowships from IPA and the Association of Biotechnology and Pharmacy. Sir has served as a anonymous national president of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association for an unprecedented three times and continues as General Secretary of the Indian Pharmaceutical Congress Association for a fourth term. Sir also has served India's Drug Technical Advisory Board. Sir has been elected as the president of the CR Farm Forum, a WHO FIP regional body, for third consecutive term. Sir has represented India at global meetings in over 20 countries and served on the Pharmacy Council of India as a Central Council member and on its Education Regulation Committee. Sir is currently serving in multiple university boards of studies. As IPA immediate past president, Sir has introduced groundbreaking initiatives like vaccination training and infectious disease projects for PharmD students and brought major FIP projects to India. Sir has personally guided over 1,000 students and professionals in building their careers. Sir has organized three Indian pharmaceutical congresses, four international conventions, and international scientific sessions. Through tireless effort, visionary leadership, and a lifelong dedication to pharmacy education,
Uma, I think your voice is breaking, Uma. Sir, over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. You are visible, sir. And
Okay,
backside,
thank
one
you,
of the
Amma,
most
for the.
inspiring photos, sir. Backside with you and our missile man.
Okay.
One of the most inspiring photo which we can always look at it, sir.
Good. Thank you, Amma, for the introduction. And first of all, I welcome all the delegates online for this uh, final day of the International Clinical Trials 2026. My congratulations to Clinisol, particularly Dr. Mujibuddin and the Indian Pharmaceutical Association for taking initiation and organizing one-day event. I think it is the first of its kind from IPA I have seen, and conducting competitions in various places and encouraging the students and creating awareness. That's what a good initiative. My heartful congratulations to you. And I am associated with Clinisol for almost more than 7, 8 years. And Dr. Mujibuddin is also our placement coordinator of IPA, and who has helped many people in who are the aspirants of placements after completion of their undergraduate or postgraduate. And here, not only just organizing one week event, but also conducting competitions. That is a good initiative. And I am privileged and I am honored to announce the prize winners of 5 disciplines. That is for all the 5 days. I think the prize winners, and each is having three prizes. Each division is having three prizes. I was told that. And on day one, it is e-survey. The first prize goes to Harshvardhan Sachin Bendre, Ashok Rao Mane Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, Save, Maharashtra. And the second place goes to Trisha Katti, Vikas College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. That is Suryapet, Telangana. And third place goes to Azma Hibatullah, JNTU, Hyderabad. This is they are the winners of the J1. I think if you have the results, you can simultaneously display it also.
Yes, sir.
Day 2, that is on caption this. The first place goes to Shajma Sheikh from BLDE SAM College of Pharmacy and Research Center, Vijaypur, Karnataka. Second place goes to Soha Amreen, Deccan School of Pharmacy. And third place goes to Argo Chakraborty, Guru Nanak Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, Hyderabad. And day 3 on poster made easy. Again, there's also 3 ranks here. First rank goes to Harika Nagana Boina, Gokaraju Rangaraju College of Pharmacy. Second place goes to Jessica, Srinivasan College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. I think area was not mentioned. Srinivasa College, Mangalore.
The location was not being given, sir. We are not sure about the location, sir. I think.
Okay. And third place goes to Ritvik Mani, Malareddy College of Pharmacy. Again, there are 3 colleges in Malareddy. You have to mention the area also. Anyway, the participants will be knowing it. And day 4, that is on 2 minutes video presentation. Actually, I request Mujib to upload these videos to the IPA website so that the public or students will come to know the talent of the students, how they are coming out with innovative ideas. Nandini from KS Rangaswamy College of Pharmacy. Second place goes to Kritika Kumari, Usha Martin University. Third place goes to Iringan Gogai, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Dibrugarh University. And last event, that is mini reel competition on day 5. The first rank goes to Kanuri Manideepika, St. Peter's Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Hanmukonda. Second place goes to Soundarya M, Mahendra Engineering College. Third rank goes to Kaushbu Shah, that is Parul University. So, the announcement of these results, I congratulate all the winners and I wish them many more success in their future endeavors. My best wishes to you all and my best wishes to the organizers for conducting this international clinical trials in a grand way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Uma, thank you so much, sir. Can we have a vote of thanks? Congratulations to all the people, sir. So many students are there, sir, who are saying thank you for their announcement, sir. So many people are saying because they are listening now for their awards. So everyone is listening very carefully your talk, sir. Uma, can you go ahead with vote of thanks, please?
Oh, what the award is containing?
Sir, actually, we are giving one participation certificate, I mean, winner certification. So we will be thinking about, after having a discussion, we'll be thinking to give some memento in some event or activity, sir. That's something which we are thinking about it, sir.
I think you can invite them for the next Students' Congress scheduled in September. You can discuss with IP Education Division.
Yes, sir.
And ask them to give some complimentary registration to these winners.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for generously giving that, sir. Thank you, sir. Uma, can we go ahead with vote of thanks, please? Uma, you are on mute.
Sorry. Before I conclude this webinar, I request Stephen Narayana sir, if sir is still present, to give his last message to the students, those who have participated with lots of enthusiasm and also taking part. And we are seeing how he is shaping the clinical research industry and pharma industry. So your message to students.
Sir, can you give a couple of messages to youngsters, sir, who have participated in this event for around
Because I'm getting
week?
a request from students that they wanted
Yeah.
some suggestion from Narayana sir.
So I think most of students want to listen from Narayana sir. Sir, if you are available for a minute, if you can give some suggestion for youngsters who have participated in this program, sir. Uma, I think sir is in the call. Can we have vote of thanks?
Yeah. So on behalf of Indian Pharmaceutical Association and Clinosol Research Private Limited, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to TV Narayana sir for so kindly accepting our invitation and for sharing his inspiring journey with us today. And sir, your story from a modest background to becoming the first Indian pharmacist to receive 3 major international recognitions is truly remarkable. Your contributions really help our students to reach to a greater benchmark in the pharmacy profession. And I also would like to thank all the attendees for being present for today's event. And we hope that today's webinar, the 2 sessions, and sir's announcements have also motivated and made you feel proud of your profession and the hard work that you have put in this participation. And thanking you once again, everybody, and wishing you all the winners a great success and good luck for the future. And we'll be announcing very shortly after discussing with IPA Education Committee or the team on what we are going to offer to you apart from the certificate. Stay tuned to us to know more and check your emails so that we can let you know what you are going to receive as winners of these 5 competitions. And thank you so much, Mujib sir, for one more time bringing this concept and working rigorously behind the screens with IPA team in making this a huge success. And we are expecting more such kinds of programs from you. And thank you everyone for joining us today evening. Wishing you all the best again and wonderful rest of the evening. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.
So thank you. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you, IPA Education Division. Thank you, everyone. And congratulations. You will be having your certificates in a couple of days. Thank you. Thank you. Couple of days. Thank you. Thank you.